Hello, everybody, and welcome to a deck building video featuring Eric.
This is my first time.
It's your first time. So we actually have like a variety of these videos. Some of them are beginner-focused videos where we build with like limited collection. Some of them we just try to build a deck together as a group, which is kind of like where this one's going to fall. Some of them we have, it's called Bryn's Madhouse, where Bryn tries to take a wild idea and turn it into something real. And I think that's kind of what we have here, where in a previous video, on a list video, Eric was saying like, what can we do with the goat? And then you brought up Preston Fairmont, and at first in the back of my mind I was like, don't be ridiculous. Preston Fairmont would never want to use the goat. But then I was like, wait a minute. There's actually, I think, something that can cook here. And I was like starting to be like, yeah. So this is a Preston deck that's about using the goat. It's going to take a slightly different format than our previous deck building, because we're going to kind of like, Eric doesn't know the cards to the level that Travis, Bryn, and I do, but we can still get there. It's going to kind of be like one of those things where like, it's kind of like we're building on the vibes.
Yeah.
And instead of like going for, like we can even like do like upgrade plans. I'm thinking we might even do like, if I was bringing this through a campaign, I want to build a level 0 deck and then the order in which I would do my upgrades. Mm-hmm. So I think what we want to do is we want to start with our final version of the deck, which we usually aim for about 29 experience.
Okay.
So the goal for this deck is a combat-focused Preston Fairmont.
Yes.
That's what we're doing. And we're going to be running Devil.
But we can only run one, right?
No, we can run two. He's unique.
Yeah.
But we can only have one in play at a time.
Makes sense.
So Devil is going to... My thought was with Devil, we also run... So Devil, if you don't know, I'll put it on the screen for a few seconds. This guy is going to deal 2 damage to everybody, but we're actually going to be pseudo-using him for healing as well.
Yeah.
Because we're going to be taking that damage... So we're gonna move 3 damage onto him, and then we're gonna move damage onto the damage that he deals. We're gonna put one of it on ourself, and one of it on a jacket that we're then going to heal.
Yeah.
It's kind of like how we're gonna be doing this. However, if we need to put damage on ourselves, we can. But the idea is that we actually don't. We're not gonna take the damage too much from this one. Now, is this the best way to build with the Devil? No. But Eric actually hyped me up on this idea that I think this actually could be a really fun, janky deck to try to explore and make it as spiky as possible.
Now, there was that charismatic card you mentioned, too, where we might potentially want 2 allies.
We are going to want 2 allies because we also want to play Lonnie Ritter. Mm-hmm. So Lonnie Ritter gives us 2... she gives us 1 additional fist, so getting us to 2, doubling our fist output. Mm-hmm. But we can also use a Lightning Bolt Exhauster and spend 1 resource to choose an item asset controlled by an investigator location, heal 1 damage from that asset, and 1 horror from Lonnie Ritter. Notably, resources are super easy for this deck because Preston gets 4 money a turn that he can spend. But we are going to want to be aware of card draw. We're going to want to make sure we can find all the pieces to our puzzle. However, luckily, we actually, I think... did I not put Lonnie Ritter in here?
You didn't. You just
looked at her.
Just wrote her name.
We actually only really need 4 pieces, I think, to make our deck function. And that is Lonnie Ritter, Devil for the flavor, but we can actually work without Devil. We also are going to want a jacket, a leather jacket. So it's a fast 2 cost, soaks for 2.
I thought there was nobody inside that jacket at first.
It's just an abyss. However, we also can get a little bit funky with it. We can also get this leather coat. So leather coat just soaks for... You know what? We also could get... We could just be like, we're wearing a bunch of jackets. So this is a new card for Hemlock Vale. We can exhaust. I don't know if we want to because this eats up our cards in our hand, but we can draw them later. But we can turn cards in hand into resources. Mm-hmm. I don't know if we want to do that. I think leather coat and leather jacket might be good.
I think those are better.
We're going to be fighting with a fire axe.
Why a fire axe?
Because as an action, we fight if we have no resources. We can it deals +1 damage. But during an attack using fire axe, we can spend a resource to get +2 fists for this skill test. Which means that we can spend the money off family, or first off us, then off family inheritance, and then we have more money we can spend to keep swinging with it. It scales really well with our fist because we get +2 for each resource we spent, and we have 5 extra resources we can spend each turn when it comes to fighting.
Can you spend it multiple times?
You can spend it up to 3 times per attack.
Oh, okay, never mind. Yeah, that really works for Preston.
There is a new upgraded version.
I don't think you put it in.
No, because there's also a new upgraded version, which makes it cost. It still costs 1, but it's also now fast. I think we can start with the level 0.
Aren't we building the final version? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but we can see, like, because we're going to have 29 experience, see what else we want to do with it. Okay. So...
Now, my other question then is, because we're doing a lot with money and we're doing a lot with, like, damage of that sort, there's, like, a dynamite card or something, right? Is there something we could potentially use that we could just throw at enemies to deal damage?
There is this card called Small Favor that we could potentially work. So deal 1 damage to non-elite enemy at your location, but you can pay up to 4 to deal 2 damage and change it up to 2 locations away. So that's probably what we're going to want.
Yeah.
We also, here, you know what we can do? We can actually just look at damage. So we have Backstab. We probably don't want to be using this.
No.
We could run Coup de Grace in the level 0 version. It just deals the damage to an enemy and ends our turn. That's probably it over here. Survivor. Okay. So, let's look at the experience as well. Sorry, I went right through those. I think Sneak Attack probably is worth it. So it deals 2 damage to enemy, not engaged with you at your location.
Yeah.
And like you said, your idea for this, the Preston deck was that we try to do as little damage as we can by fighting. Like, we still have the Fire Axe to do that.
Yeah, and we should have it.
But I think a card like this will get the job done for us. Survivor. Okay, we probably don't need those. We probably don't want Brute Force. Probably good with all of those. Interesting.
It only gives us 2 weapons currently.
Yes, which is likely gonna be the case.
Okay.
Because we don't really have, like, there's not really many weapons that we can fight with as Preston.
Yeah, that's
so
fair.
what we want to do is we want to do card draw instead when we can find it.
And also, what were those cards you mentioned that would help us find the devil in Lonnie Ritter?
Oh,
also the name of my new album.
Yeah. Close Call. We want those. Nope, not that one. Sorry. Chance Encounter. The other C word. So, choose an ally with an cost resource X and any player's discard pile put into player under your control. We want 2 of those, yeah. Good call. So,
it's also any player's discard pile, so we could potentially have some fun pulling somebody else.
Else's, yeah, 100%. So for permanence, we have Scrapper, which we can't play. But we can play Streetwise, but I think that's Foot and Book. Suspend resources to increase these. The only thing is, like, I mean, like, we could, if things get bad, we can evade things, right?
Yeah.
We could as, like, a worst case. It's only 3. I don't think it's terrible.
No, I think we should have that because this deck is going to need some way of evasion as well. What was that red card that I was trying to run for a little while that allowed you to mess with creatures that weren't elites? Where if you evaded them or if you...
Oh, the Dumb Luck, I think, is the one you're thinking of. This one, right? Was it this one? Yeah. We could do that. That is kind of like enemy removal.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I have an idea. It might be a little bit crazy. You might need to tell me to reel it in. Okay. What are your thoughts on a Blessed Devil deck? So hear me out.
I want to hear it. It.
So there's a card called Spirit of Humanity, which we can exhaust it to take a damage and a horror to add 2 tokens to the Chaos Bag. This allows us to kill Devil quicker, but it also will trigger Lonnie Ritter because we can heal a damage from an asset and a horror. So if it's an item asset. So we can, like, when the Devil's in play, we can put the damage on the Devil and the horror on Lonnie. When the Devil blows up, we can use that to then, like, you know, put on the jacket and have her heal it with her horror. It also we can heal it through as an emergency to get curse tokens. But we could also run cards like this Ancient Covenant, which, when an investigate location resolves a blessed token during a skill test, we don't reveal another token, so we can get some auto successes.
I like that.
We can also then run a card called Signum Crucis, which is commit only to a skill test you're performing, and only if the difficulty test is higher than your base skill value. You add blessed tokens to the difference between your base and the skill value.
With Fire Axe, that's going to be really, really fun because our base value is always going to be 1.
Yeah, so it's always going to be like really damn low.
I think that's a great idea.
Think this could be kind of fun?
Yeah.
Okay, so we want Signum Crucis, 2 copies. We want Spirit of Humanity. I think we also could go for a Take Heart. So this is if you fail, draw 2 cards and gain 2 resources.
Yep.
Notably, one thing to be aware of for people at home as well, if you gain any money, it's on Preston's card. If you gain 1 or more resources from a card effect, you place them on family inheritance instead of your resource pool. So, should we also then look at Favor of the Suns, which allow us to seal blessed tokens, and we can have like auto successes on demand.
I think so.
That's kind of like the payoff to that build.
I guess here's a question. Is there any way we can convert blessed tokens to damage? Because my only fear of this deck so far is that because we only have 2 Fire Axe and 2 Devil, we basically only have 4 weapons in our fight deck. So I feel we're running a little short on damage.
Yeah, I think that's very fair. And I don't... think so.
Okay.
But that's a great question. I mean, no, we can't do that.
No.
You probably could make it work, but it'd probably be way too janky. I mean, the problem is the Fire Axe just scales so well, right? Like, 'cause that's kind of like what we need.
Do we have any way to search for additional assets then?
Oh, yeah, we definitely do. So we can go into Rogue.
Mm-hmm.
We can go Friends in Low Places. We can go 2 of these in our deck. So this is a customizable card, so we can add a bunch of stuff to it. But basically, look at the top 6 cards of your deck. So when you purchase this, choose and record a trait. We'll choose item. Because we have Fire Axe, Spirit of Humanity, Leather Coat, Leather Jacket. So it hits 8 of our cards.
Yeah.
So that's base. If for each of the cards you looked at, you may spend 1 resource to add that card to your hand, shuffle the remaining cards into your deck.
Yeah, that's great.
So then we can also... How much experience do we have? We have 21 experience. So we also can, I think, probably... We want to add another trait. We probably want to add Ally.
Yep.
Because then we can fish out Lonnie and... And we probably could also go with this look at additional 3, so make it 9 instead.
Yeah, that's really solid.
So that leaves us with 3 experience left. Okay. Hear me out. What if we add this go-to card, which is just 0 cost. You get 3 of them from 1 experience, gain 2 resources, and draw a card. After you play Easy Mark, play another Easy Mark from your hand at no cost.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just it's card draw,
It's card draw.
replaces itself. And then we have 2 experience left. What I'm thinking is we maybe do Clever.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
So we can choose the order after that.
I agree.
Because then we, like, if we don't hit some stuff, we can, like, go from there. So then this would be our 29 card deck, but we need 1 more card. But I'm just looking at this. Fire Axe is good. It could be the upgraded version if we have more experience. Spirit of Humanity is fun.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, do we not buy... Oopsie. You know what? We're going to have to lose this Clever. Because we do not have Ancient Covenant.
Oh, did we not put it in?
No, we just looked at it when we were talking about it.
Oh.
Yeah, we're going to want that Ancient Covenant. That's kind of important to our deck's game plan.
Yeah.
Okay. So we also could... I agree. We probably, we should look at the damage again.
Mm-hmm.
Probably, once again, though, this is a Mimi deck.
This is a Mimi deck.
And, Moxie does not do it.
Do any of the... does, the Black Fan, the Pocket Watch, the Red Clock, do any of those increase damage?
They don't increase damage. They just get increased... they do skill value.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't do damage, right? So you still have to test. Like, and we could do like well connected is a great way to go, but we need resources for that. But we don't want resources for fire axe.
Yeah, no.
Small favor is nice. Sneak attack is good. Friends in low places gets it done.
Yep. And it's great card draw, and it's gonna reliably help us get Lonnie, the Devil, and the Fire Axe. How many more cards do we need?
We need one more card, but I'm just looking to see if like maybe some of these, because I was thinking like, do we need the coat and the jacket? I think ultimately probably we do.
Yeah.
I think we probably won't. The redundancy will help.
Yeah.
Right. And then that means we can still use like, because I think like the Spirit of Humanity Bless thing is actually pretty sick.
Yeah, I think that actually does a lot for us. It also helps us be a weird flex in a way.
I mean, like if we want to be a flex, we could just run a one of Intel Report. Card's really good for our last card. Discover a clue, pay 4 to make it, pay 4 to discover 2 clues instead.
Yeah, I think so.
Just like as the one of, just so we can like do that during downtime. I'm just trying to think of damage. Let's just see if anything else jumps out.
What's that old shotgun?
It's a cool card. It has no ammo, but while playing an event, you treat its uses as 2. Get +3 fists instead of its standard damage as attack deals amount you succeeded by, or fail if you would damage.
Okay, it doesn't work for us though.
No. I mean, like, there is this Delilah O'Rourke, who could be a way we could go as well.
Yeah.
We'd have to change some things. Like, if we wanted to go more on it, so, okay, you know what we should do? This is, time for us to experiment a bit.
Yeah.
So we have that version. Let's look at a different version, because then we can go. And this is a new deck building type of series. We're having some fun with it. So Preston the Blessed Goat. Preston the...
Cursed.
Evil Goat.
Yeah.
All right, so we drop all the blessed stuff. We lose the Spirit of Humanities. We lose the Signum Crucis, which aren't costing us spheres. We lose the Favor of the Sun. We run another Charisma.
Okay.
And then we can look at 2, not Lonnie Ritter's, Delilah O'Rourke's.
Because that'll give us how many?
So that puts us at 30, so we'll need to cut a card, so we maybe have to lose like the easy marks or something. But what Delilah does is she gives us a +1 fist and foot, but we can also exhaust her and spend X resources to choose an enemy or location, deal 1 damage to the enemy, 2 damage instead if that enemy is exhausted.
Is that going to be too slow for us?
It's like compounding, right?
Yeah.
So like it's one of those things where like we use it in tandem with everything else, and it's like something to make it even better. We could go to a one of, because we do have the friends in low places, and then we could also do clever on top of that again.
Yeah.
We still need to add more cards, but now this is 29 experience.
Okay.
It also means that we have 3 fist when Delilah and Lonnie is in play.
Ooh, that is nice.
So what we could also do is we could also make this a Dark Horse deck, where if you have no resources, you get +1 to each of your stats.
Oh, because he technically counts for that?
He would, yeah. If it's on his family inheritance, but not in his pool, which is where you would spend from first.
Okay, I love this.
So, I mean, I kind of really want... So, if we were building this deck for real, I would do Delilah O'Rourke, and I would do 2 Delilahs, and I would do 1 in the thick of it.
And then drop what?
Nothing. So this is, it's just we get 2 physical trauma, so we take 1 of each, and then we would earn 3 experience. So then we can add 2 more cards. I think with this one we would go a second Intel Report.
That makes sense for the flex.
And honestly, probably just like an Overpower. Just some card draw.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. I mean, we could also still do 1 of these and do 2 Overpowers. I think I like that a tiny bit more. So this one is more on damage.
Yeah.
So our first version, which let me open up for everyone at home and also for us here. This version, it's about cheating. This one's a lot slower. And this one is about being a little bit cheesy with it. You get blessed tokens and you basically just guarantee auto successes when you otherwise wouldn't. This version is about increasing its damage output through Delilah and Lonnie. The only thing with this one is that you need a lot of pieces of the puzzle to get going. However, you can make this puzzle work in a variety of different ways.
Yeah. Now, my question is, are there any curse token cards that deal extra damage?
There is. It's one called Reestrad, which requires an attack. It's there, trust me. Let's open up Preston the Evil Goat. I mean, it actually would be in the Blessed Goat, but I can just show you in here. Oh, is it maybe Reestrad? Nope. Event. R. So fight when you initially attack, add up to 3 curse tokens to Chaos Bag. You get +1 for each curse token and +1 damage. So it is a good card.
Doesn't necessarily work for us.
However, I do think it could work in the Blessed Goat deck.
Oh.
Because we could combo it with a Favor of the Sun to ensure we pass.
Yeah, true.
So like we could add that into here. Give me level experienced. Give me Reestrad. We can run 2 of those. We'd have to cut 2 cards. So I think what we'd also do is I think we would do Helpful. And then we would also run it in the thick of it here. Just to get to that 29 experience. We'd have to cut 2 cards.
What does the Signum Crucis do again?
It adds Blessed tokens.
Right, and we do need that.
It is nice. It is probably cuttable.
What's the Take Heart?
That gives us cards and resources.
Oh, yeah, no, we want that.
So what I would probably do... Oh, man, I like these easy marks, but... It's always tough to cut down. I mean, I think both of these decks are viable routes to take this idea. And I think the decks themselves are actually pretty legit, too. I'd be happy to run either of these decks. They would definitely have weaknesses, and like you would notice like, oh, there's a hole in my armor right here, but I think it would lead to a lot of good moments.
Could you potentially take that same card where it gives you extra cards you can put in your deck? Oh no, that was extra experience, not extra cards.
Yes, yeah, no, we would do it here.
Ooh. I don't know if we want to take anything down.
So with this deck, because we want the Signum Crucis, but
Yeah.
I mean, like right now, like that's the one that I'm looking at cutting the most. Like I kind of feel like it's a
Well, what other way do we have to add?
Spirit of Humanity, but like if we don't hit that, we're kind of just sitting in the mud. You know?
Exactly.
Like, oh man, but we want all of our damage.
Yeah.
Like we want all of these. So like we could kill the Intel Report even though it's really good. But I feel
You
like
didn't kill it.
no, that's what I'm thinking. But I feel like the right choice is actually turn these into 1-ofs.
Oh, okay.
Or alternatively, keep this one as a 2-of. Turn this into a 1-of.
Yeah.
Go like that.
I think so. Because
Like,
Lonely Ritter can also take damage off the devil, as
Yes.
can other things.
And-
Like, we do have other options, and Chance Encounter helps us bring stuff back.
Yeah. I mean, also, like, realistically, we could just drop the Intel Report, too.
Yeah, but it is nice.
That's what I was saying. Like, I think, like, if I was playing with you, I'd probably get rid of it. Like, if you were building, like, if this was your deck and I was the clue getter, I'd cut it, right?
Yeah.
But, like, without knowing, I think this is probably better. I guess...
How does that Reestrad work again?
When you initiate attack, add up to 3 curse tokens to Chaos Bag for each curse token reveal. Added this way, you get +1 fist. So we add 3, we get to attack at 5. And then the idea is that we use the Favor of the Sun to reveal a Blessed token, Ancient Covenant to automatically pass, deal 4 damage.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's really strong
Yeah.
in this deck.
I think of the two, I think this one is more focused,
Yeah.
and this one's better. But I think this one will have bigger moments that it pops with.
I think the problem with this one is if you get caught without all the pieces in place,
Yeah.
you can't really do anything.
All right. So, which one do you want to reverse engineer to 0? Which one would you rather play of these two?
I'd rather play the Evil Goat.
Evil Goat. Okay. So then we'll turn this into a level 0 version, and we can reverse engineer it for people at home too. We rarely, if ever, do recommended upgrade plans, but today's the day.
Today's the day.
All right, so we're going to go Evil Goat, level 0. Okay, so what we need to do is pretty simple. We need to make some notes over here. And we have...
I'm excited for one day if we reverse engineer a deck and we end up with a better deck at level 0.
Yeah. Could you imagine? Okay. I'm trying to think of what our first experience is. Because we get 3 experience to start with. Where are we going to start?
You gotta spend it on the devil, don't you?
Probably not to start, actually. I don't think so.
Okay.
So, 1 second. Enchant encounter 0 to a chance encounter 2. Potentially we would do that. Friends in low places. We get plus versatile, clever, and prompt.
But what are we gonna do in the first round before we have the devil out?
Well, devil is actually our slowest form of damage output, so we're looking
That's
at
true.
other things to get that going.
That's fair.
I think
Riastrad's gone from this one again.
Riastrad was never in the damage one.
Oh,
just
right.
because we can't guarantee we hit on
This
that
is
one.
Delilah
Yeah,
O'Rourke. Yeah.
Okay.
I was like, what?
So I think actually our in the thick of it is going to be for a 1 of Delilah. I think she's just like our best form of starting damage. We have to buy 2 charismas though. This is going to be very experienced heavy. But luckily, there's a way for us to do this with our good friend called Pelt Shipment. So this is your maximum hand size reduced by 3. When the game ends, if you resign, if Pelt Shipment is in your hand, reduce the experience cost of the next new card you purchase by 1.
There we go.
So we're going to use that to kind of cheat some experience in this deck.
Yeah.
So Friends in Low Places is going to go down to 0. Just looking for item, which is good, because we want to hit these.
Yep. Because really our build is our Fire Axe right now.
Yeah, I mean, the Fire Axe actually is going to have good damage output at level 0. We only are going to have 2 Fist. We're going to keep Lonnie Ritter in our deck, and basically whichever one we hit first, but we're not going to be like that committed to either of them. We also realistically could go like Easy Mark and like a Sneak Attack, but I think not.
No.
I don't think I'm going to play Sneak Attack 0 in this deck. I think that's going to be Coup de Grace. So the reason for this is because Sneak Attack 0, you need to use it on an exhausted enemy, and we're unlikely going to be able to exhaust enemies. So instead, we're going to do Coup de Grace.
That makes sense.
So Coup de Grace is going to go into Sneak Attack 2. Easy Marks are really easy to add. So we're going to just go like that. Okay, I'll take 2 End of the Roads. So 2 End of the Roads is going to be into Easy Mark.
What about what are those skill cards that just let you do a thing then draw a card?
Like overpower or like
Yeah.
yeah. So like you're thinking like a defensive one of those?
Just as a way to replace them, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's fair. We could do like a probably. We have 2 of the Fist one. I mean, we also could do the neutral one, but yeah, like we could do Perception, gives you book.
I was thinking the neutral one. Yeah, that's what I meant.
So like we could do Guts, 2 Brain. We could do Manual Dex, 2 Foot, Perception for 2 book, or we could do Unexpected Courage, which doesn't replace itself, but it does give you 2 Wild.
No, that's not so good. I was looking to replace card draw.
I mean, I think it's probably a Guts, just to defend our brain a bit.
Yeah, that's true.
But we're unlikely to use that. So then, end of the road, and Guts. We're going to turn into Easy Marks. Okay, we have 1 Delilah, Chance Encounters. I don't know if we're actually going to want to play Chance Encounter 0. So I think Chance Encounter 0 is actually going to be Scrounge for Supplies. So choose a level 0 card and you discard pile the chosen card to your hand.
Yes.
Similar kind of spot, but it's actually here to tech also for Pelt Shipment, because
Yeah.
we can discard it, then bring it back.
100%.
So instead, this is going to be scrounge for supplies. Have we cut? Okay, we have a slight problem here. Do you see what I see? We have not cut the pelt shipments, but we've cut all the cards from our deck. So what did we cut? Chance encounter. Chance encounter became scrounge for supplies.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you did the devil.
Oh, the devil. Yes. Okay. Yeah. So then, perfect. So then pelt shipments can become the devil. But we also got to buy charismas. And we also got to buy a Delilah O'Rourke. So then what else do we have to get here? Is that it? Easy mark is in.
How are we at 29 cards then if we've got 2 charismas that we need to pick up?
Because we need to add one more card. There's another card we need to add.
Yeah.
Because we have the 2 pelt shipments for the devil. Mm-hmm. We need 1 Delilah O'Rourke.
That's the name of our next song.
Yeah.
2 pelt shipments for the devil.
We need to figure out what we're cutting for the other Delilah.
Yeah.
That's what we're missing. Okay. You know what? I think we just grab a second intel report.
Sure.
And we just turn one of those into a Delilah.
Yeah.
They don't fill the same spot, but like it means that our level 0 deck I think is just going to be a bit more flexy at the start.
Yeah.
And I mean like here's some big brain tech for everyone who's playing Arkham. If you make your level 0 deck for the first scenario better at getting clues, you're less likely to have to spend time fighting monsters. So it's kind of like the quicker you are getting clues in the first scenario, the less game you're going to have to play, which means the less monsters you're going to have to end up killing.
So what you're telling me is in a game where you have 4 Seekers, you never have to fight a monster.
Hell yeah, you just win the game before then.
Just win the game.
You just win the game. Okay, so we need 2 charismas. So then this is our translation of that. Mm-hmm. I think it's pretty good. So the nice thing about this is, like, say we have a 3 health enemy with 2 evade. We use 3 of our resources, 2 from the family inheritance, 1 from us to get +6. So that means with Delilah O'Rourke, we're attacking at 8. Yes. We hit the enemy. We then spend 2 more resources to use Delilah's ability to deal the last damage to it.
Yeah.
So like that's kind of like where we're looking at for like our damage output for that. I think that this Preston would do well paired with a Seeker that could evade as well.
Yes.
I think that'd be really good for that. All right, so then what would be the order I would buy cards in here? So first experience. Assuming you get your pelt shipment going, you want the devil, but I don't think you want the devil immediately. I think you want 1 charisma. Mm-hmm. You want ×1 charisma.
There's no point in getting the devil before you have at least 1 charisma anyways.
Yeah. I don't know how to do the break. So we're just going to do it like this. +3 easy mark. And the nice thing is you get 3 easy marks at once.
Yeah.
So removing times two on the road, and ×1 guts. So that's 4 experience to start. Mm-hmm. Okay.
You still need the other charisma though.
Yes, but this is just, I'm looking at like our first batch of experience.
Okay.
You usually earn about 6 in the experience, 6 to 7.
In the first scenario?
Yeah, usually. That's usually what you can expect. Maybe like 4 to 7, but still. I mean, we're also hopefully earning more with this pelt shipment.
Yeah.
Right? Because if the fun thing about pelt shipment, it means that if we trigger one of these, we can actually add easy mark for nothing and get 3 cards out of it.
That's
which
true.
is super sick. So then that's at 4, but I don't think you'd want to spend a 2 for anything. I think instead we now go second batch of experience. Mm-hmm. And I think with this one, you go ×1 charisma for 3. And then the charismas are done. What would I buy next?
I'm thinking probably Delilah.
That's not bad.
Just to increase her consistency.
Delilah O'Rourke. removing, remove ×1 intel report. And then, third experience, we're looking at ×2 devil.
Yep.
×2 devil, removing ×2 pelt shipment. So then, sorry, this is going to cost us 3. And then this is going to cost us, how much is devil? Is he 2? Yeah, this is going to cost us 4. In theory, though, these should all be costing us less. And you actually might be able to do this. Like, when I say third experience, it's kind of like the batches, what you look at doing. So the devils are in.
Pelt shipment's out, which is also good because now we've got all of our creatures, all of our charisma. We don't have to worry about our hand size.
Yeah, so what we probably want to do is I would wager we're going to want ×2 a chance encounter. And we want to, that's going to cost us 4. And it's removing scrounge for supplies. Okay.
Yeah. Because then at this point, we don't have any reduced hand size.
Yep.
We have all of our chance encounters. We're fully online with our allies.
Alternatively, we maybe move this to 4th and we put some stuff in friends in low places.
Actually, we should put in friends in low places, we should put the versatile on.
Yes.
Because that's cheaper if I understand it.
So versatile in low places. So that's versatile. So 1 second. So versatile costs 2. We were just about to spend 4. So let's spend 5. So we're going to do what we have. Clever. Clever lets us restack. We probably want...
Prompt.
Oh, no, we want experienced. Sorry, I wrote the wrong one.
Oh, okay.
Versatile plus experienced, which is going to cost us 5. So this is a lot of experience getting through this, but once again, these happens in batches. This is kind of like just like the upgrade order, not necessarily what you expect to get for each one of these.
Still makes sense, though.
Yeah. Okay, so then we do 4th experience. And I think now we do this chance encounter. We're still going to... Clever, I think, can wait a bit longer.
Yeah.
Because I think what we want to do... I mean, realistically, this is actually when you start getting about this. So then we go 5th experience. We do ×2 sneak attack for 4. Removing ×2. So realistically, as it evolves too, you might find that coup de grace is not really sticking. So like you can remove coup de grace earlier. You also could maybe find that you like the 2 intel reports and like remove a coup de grace instead of that.
Exactly.
This is kind of like fitting that here. And then also we can do friends in low places 2 for clever as like our final gravy upgrades.
Yeah. So third experience is really the
where the deck comes together.
It's also the crest you have to get for experience.
So generally, it's how Bryn and I've never really talked to Travis where he likes to sit, but Bryn is like once you get around like 10 experience, it's kind of like where you want to see your deck be doing its thing. So like 10 to 12. So 3, 6, 9, 10. 12 is when the first devil gets added. So at that point now, we should have the identity of the deck. At 14, the second devil is, and we can start getting that consistency to really make it shine.
Yeah.
I think this deck is actually kind of pretty sick.
I actually think the Fire Axe does a lot more than we're giving it credit for.
Oh, yeah, no, my first Preston deck was a Red Glove Man Fire Axe deck, so I know it can do its work.
Nice.
We call it Poor Preston. Poor Preston's a fun way to play. And again, with Dark Horse, we're also going to be up higher as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, we also, like, and you do earn more than 29 experience in a scenario, in a campaign, sorry, like, so you're going to, like, also, like, upgrade these other things to be better as well.
Yeah.
But we do a 29 just so we have, like, a number to aim for. Well, that was fun.
Yeah, I'm really
I think
loving
Blessed
that.
Goat also could have been, is also a really fun deck, but I do agree that I think Evil Goat is probably just going to be a little bit better. But I want to play this deck. It seems fun.
Yeah.
Maybe I can bring it into Dream Eaters. Because you play 2 decks in Dream Eaters.
Oh, right.
And you get experience really quick, too.
You should play Preston the Evil Goat and Preston the
Preston the Blessed Goat and the other one? Well, let us know in the comments what you thought of this deck building video for Eric and I. And if you'd like it, I'm sure Eric will be able to cook up something else to be like, what about this card and this card? Because never thought about this, but honestly, I'm into it. I think this is actually a pretty cool way of... And I think the deck is legit, too. Like, I'm just trying to think, like, it has card draw. It has card draw.
It's got built-in economy.
It also has, like, yeah, so, like, when there's, like, no enemies, you always play, like, one asset a turn, and then you can spend other time drawing cards or advancing the game. I think Friends in Low Places also get stuff done. Like, maybe, realistically, you want versatile a bit more, but I mean, or sorry, experienced a bit sooner. But this is also something, like, this is why I don't like to do structured upgrade plans, because a lot of it is going to depend on how you feel the deck is when you're piloting it, right?
I have a feeling that unless this deck is getting swamped with creatures regularly, you're actually going to see the intel reports kept a lot longer than you'd think, and having them switch with the coup de grace.
Yep, I can see that too, especially. But this deck will crumple if you don't find your Fire Axe. So I think like that is actually probably your most important PC or mulligan, and everything else you're like, yeah.
You need that Fire Axe.
Yeah. I dig it, though. Well, thanks for watching, everybody. Have a great one, and may your goats be evil or blessed.